up? It's Redzone In the Lab podcast. It's RITL. I am Deuce, DEUCE. What is good with y'all today, man? I appreciate you tuning in once again. Listen, please comment on the video, comment on the shorts. I put out a few shorts a day. Comment on the shorts, comment on this video. Right, we're gonna be streaming live soon. We're going back to the streaming live very, very soon. Also, hit that heart button, hit that like, that thumbs up, whatever it is right now. Please hit it right now, so you won't forget. Share it out, put it out there to Commanders fans. But yeah, man, we here for another episode. Appreciate y'all. OTAs Phase 3, Part 2, Day 5. Right. The same no-shows are the same no-shows. Keep it right there. Keep it right there, right? It's voluntary. It's voluntary. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about that a little later in the show. It's voluntary. But the 10th, it's a little different. It's a little different for one of those three. For me, it's a little different for one of those three. But yeah, man, had some audio issues last night, but this is about yesterday. We had a Dan Quinn presser. We had a Joe Whitt presser. Of course, he had some nuggets in there. We had some things on the field. We had a lot of content. We got some videos that we're going to do later on tonight, later on this evening. They had some player interviews, like at the locker room. And I'm going to kind of, we're going to talk about those a little later today. I'm going to jump on here. We can talk about those later today. But a few things today. We talk about some Debo. We're going to talk about Luvu. What else? Let me see. Oh, joint practices. Yeah, we're going to get to it right after this. Yo, what up? Mikey Sanderstrill, right? Phenomenal rookie. Had a great year. He had a type of year where you can see his projection going through the roof. He could be one of the best young cornerbacks in this league. Right? He came out the draft as the best slot corner in the draft. All offseason, all training camp, slot corner. First few games of the year, slot corner. He struggled a little bit, but then they moved him to the boundary. Not because he was struggling, but because of the incompetency in Michael Davis. He struggled a little bit out there. I think week 3 against Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, was his first game full time, and he got beat a few times. And he struggled, but he got better and better and better. And the one thing I like about Mikey is he's confident. If he loses one, he forgets it right away and he comes right back. Once a cornerback loses confidence, that's pretty much it. It's very tough to regain that confidence because once you start playing with no confidence, it gets worse because you're doubting everything that you're doing. But that's not Mikey. I think Mikey is going to be one of the best cornerbacks in this league. He's continued to get better and better. Now, after practice yesterday, he was working out with Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel was showing him from the video, like different routes, um, different get offs, explode, like all those different types of things, wide receiver releases. That's what he was showing. Now we can speculate, right? I could say, whoa, Mikey gonna be playing both sides. Because remember, yesterday was media availability, but they don't see everything, right? They're not there for the whole practice. Only what's, they have a certain slot, a certain time, usually doing uh, uh, like stretching and individual drills and position drills and all those things they can see. And after practice, of course, they can see some things. But that's what they saw. So I'm thinking, is Mikey gonna be playing both sides, or is Mikey trying to strengthen his cornerback skills as a slot receiver? Even though Debo played a lot outside, and that can be tricky. Like when we look at the numbers, say, oh, he played outside this many times, like he still was off the ball. And I think that's most important, right? But it depends. How far was he away from the last man? How far was he away from the tight end? How far was he away from the center? Like all those things matter. But even still, this is about Mikey wanting to get better. And Debo is one of the best slot, best 5 to 10 yard wide receivers in the league. He knows, he understands how to create separation to be able to get yak yards. So I think that's great for Mikey to be able to learn from him. You also have Michael Gallup there. You have Terry, of course, right? So you have all of these things. So if he's using wide receiver, and remember, Mikey was a wide receiver. Let's not forget that. Mikey was a wide receiver coming into college. Let's not forget that, right? So he understands the position. That's why I'm saying, maybe we playing both sides. Listen, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. Okay, Frankie Lou. A lot of times when we talk about our defense, and the defensive line specifically, and the pass rush, specifically the pass rush, right? We often discount Frankie Luvu, right? We don't talk about Frankie Luvu enough, and that's on us because he's a pass rusher. That's what he does. You may have seen him in coverage a few times, but him rushing the passer, creating havoc in the backfield is what he's done, what he's been doing here. Right. So when you look at our numbers, say we top 5 in blitz percentage, it's because of Luvu. Not so much that we're blitzing to where it's more of us than them, which is like a typical blitz. You want to create either you do half the line or you do the full line. You want to create a numbers advantage. But that's really not the case. That's just Frankie Luvu rushing the passer. So we have to count Luvu. He's all pro. He had 8 sacks last year. Even and him and Bobby Wagner. Like I don't even remember cornerback blitz. I don't remember really nobody blitzing but them two. And Frankie Luvu created a lot of havoc. And I wonder, this is something that we're going to look at, if it was Frankie Luvu creating havoc, pushing those sacks to Dante Fowler. I don't know. We just have to look at it. But I think he's going to have a big year. I think he's going to have a big year this year. And we'll bring him up because he's working with Ryan Kerrigan, pass rush specialist, Ryan Kerrigan. I think that means a lot. I think he's going to be in those opportunities even more. Now, I don't know if he's going to be like a 3 down and anything. I don't think that's going to be the case. But I think he's going to be pass rushing more. I don't know if he's going to be pass rushing from the ground or from standing up, but I think he needs to have both. Because if you think about this position, you think about Dan Quinn, you think about the success of the Cowboys, which is most recently for Dan Quinn, you think about Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons puts his hand in the dirt, he stands up, he moves up and down the line of scrimmage. And that's some of the things that Luvu was doing last year, but it wasn't on Micah level. Micah is one of a kind. But if you could create something similar to that, you want to hone in your skills, and you do it with one of the best pass rushers of all time for the Commanders. So I'm excited to see Luvu. I think Luvu takes a whole nother jump this year. I think he's an all pro again. I think he increases his sacks 10 plus. So I'm excited about this. But this is just two players that were great last year, that progressed over the year, that's still looking to get better. This is just two. This is just two, right? We can talk about Daron Payne, but joint practices is locked in. Mentioned on here a few weeks ago from a source that really couldn't confirm, but that there was going to be a joint practice in Ashburn. I think this is the first joint practice on our home turf since Richmond against the Texans. We know how long ago that was. But I'm excited. We got the Ravens here for a joint practice. I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2 days. And we also going to do it in New England against the Patriots. I don't know if that's 1 or 2 days. So both of those are confirmed by head coach Dan Quinn. All right, let's just get into a couple swats from yesterday. Algani, like, what has come about Quan Martin is crazy. Played much of last season with not one but two separated shoulders, and yet played on 87% of regular season defensive snaps, 92.6 in the postseason, and special teams. High praise. Joe Whitt praised him a lot. He praised him a lot today. Like, when they asked Joe Whitt, what are some players that's standing out to you off the offseason program, these OTAs, he said specifically Daron Payne and Quan Martin. I think Quan Martin has an opportunity to really lock himself in to be one of the best safeties in this league. And that's something similar to what Joe Whitt said. My thing with Quan, because I was one of the ones that wanted a safety to pair with him, not to take him off the field. Some fans wanted to take him completely off the field. I just think that Quan Martin's ceiling is higher inside of the box, closer to the line of scrimmage, because we saw how he can shoot out of a cannon and come downfield. Right? But I think he cares more about the hit than coverage. And that's not really what you want out of a free safety. If they can do both, then yes. But going into year 2 in this system, free safety 2 off seasons, and he's progressing. He's even getting better. Matter of fact, Joe Whitt mentioned last training camp, he benched him. He benched him for poor performance. But he said the next 3 days, he was the best player on defense. And he put him back in the starting lineup, and he has not looked back since. So I'm excited. And you have people like Will Harris, who's been in the league a while. And that's one thing this secondary has, is it has like veterans back there that play at high levels. I think that means a lot for this defense. Right? Jonathan Jones, Will Harris. I think Jonathan Jones is going to take Mikey's also help Mikey take his game to all new heights. So I'm excited. We're gonna see more about Quan Martin. This is another play with Quan Martin, but this is about the peanut punch. And I'm glad that I'm seeing these guys working on this drill, because turnovers is one of the things that we lacked last year, flipping the field, and we need more turnovers. Joe Whitt, Dan Quinn defense needs turnovers. We need to flip the field. We need to flip the field. We didn't do a really good job of that last year. So this peanut drill here, and I'm thinking they have other type of drills that they do to create turnovers. So I'm excited to see, because you see what happened when we create turnovers in the Lions game. Right? And the more our offense on the field, the better opportunity we have to win the game. The better opportunity we have to win the game. Daron Payne, we got some videos from him today. I'm gonna talk more about him later today. But like they asked Dan Quinn because Joe Whitt had mentioned Daron Payne earlier, and then they asked Dan Quinn. Look, Dan Quinn's literally today. I said to him, "Man, I've been really impressed by your offseason." So that's telling me that Daron Payne has been in the building working on himself, right? Getting in better shape, right? Looking back, even when you see a picture of him, like here we go with these pictures again, right? Like you see like more definition, right? You see him look more toned. But yeah. Like I need to see that on the field. We really need Daron Payne to have a great year. This is kind of like a contract year because this is last year of guaranteed money. Even though his contract runs through 27, this is kind of like this is a contract year, right? Because he wants the extension or he wants to get paid. And we know how Daron turns it up on contract years. So we need him to have a big year this year. We really do because we need that interior pressure. We need some sort of consistent pressure. And hopefully it can come from Daron Payne. Um, so we talked a lot about Kinlaw. We really ain't talk about too much about Eddie Goldman. But within the next few weeks, we're going to be going over every free agent that we drafted. We're going to go over not free agent. I'm sorry. every draft pick, and we're going to be going over every free agent individually to look at their last year's numbers, the year before last, and just kind of see how they can fit within the offense or the defense. So I'm excited about that. But that Whitt also said that like we're gonna be better at the pass rush, we'll be better at stopping the run. So we're gonna see Whitt. Like, look, it's off season, it's OTA talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, you just hope that what he's saying comes to fruition within the season. But getting bigger is I think Kinlaw is like what 30 pounds bigger than Jonathan Allen, bigger guy like Eddie Goldman, being able to put those guys in the 5 technique like over tight ends and different things like that when they go 12 and 13 personnel to get heavier on the edges, be able to set those edges a little bit better as far as D tackles, and you have those edge rushers. So I'm really excited to see what this defense looks like. Kinlaw looks like he's in great shape. He had an interview, saying how he loves Adam Peters. Adam Peters believes in him. The D-line coach, they believed in him in San Fran. They believe in him now. I think the only issue with Kinlaw, why he's getting so much heat, is because of the contract. I think that's the main thing, because of the contract that he got. But we're gonna see, man. Training camp is be around pretty soon, a few months, or another month, right? July. Yeah, so about 6 weeks, something like that. But that makes sense. We say that we got a lot of run stoppers in this off season. And we want to get bigger for 12 and 13 personnel because even Newton is not like a heavy guy. And he wasn't strong at all last year, but now he has a full off season without worrying about surgery and rehab. He can get stronger, which I think he really needs to get stronger because he was kind of getting pushed around a lot last year. So hopefully he can get a little bit stronger this off season. So I'm excited about this year. Look, let's get back into it, man. I'm still trying to get back into it, get into a rhythm here, getting back into a rhythm here. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I hope you all are excited. Remember, please comment on this video. Please like, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you see this, I also have a community that I'm going to be adjusting a little bit. I think there are we want to do tape, but for some reason, not for some reason, but the NFL has put restrictions on the all 22, so we can't play it. Like YouTube has shut it down as the stream was going on. Remember, I don't know if you all were here back in a couple months ago when I was running, because we could do it last year, but we can't do it this year. So we're going to have to do it another way, like a webinar or something like that. But because that cost, it can only go to like the members of the community. So that's something to think about. But listen, I appreciate your time. I know your time is very valuable for you to spend it with me. I absolutely appreciate it. Remember, Do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one heart,